Hi, in this tutorial we're going to talk about layer masks and how to work with them. Layer masks are an important way to work non-destructively. Using layer masks, you can make parts of your art invisible without erasing any of the pixels permanently. Let's start out with some basics. I have a blank document open here. I'm just going to use this marquee tool and we'll just make a rectangle. And we're going to fill it with red. And the way we can do that is just press shift and delete or shift and return and fill layer with the foreground color. Okay, and now it's red. Let's make another layer. Go up to the new layer and let's make another marquee, maybe over here, and we will fill that with blue, which is the background color. So shift and delete or shift and return and pick the background color and say OK, and that's filled with blue. Now we have the blue layer on top of the red layer. Now if you want to get rid of some of this blue layer, you might say let's just use the eraser tool. So if you click on the eraser tool and you start erasing some of that blue layer, that does what a layer mask does. Pretty much it gets rid of it the way you wanted it to. But if you look up here, it's actually gotten rid of the pixels. If you ever decide to change your mind, if you ever want to make an adjustment to that and bring some of those blue pixels back, you can't because they're completely gone. You can do it right now by doing Command Z or Control Z, but if you make that change and then you go down the line and make other edits and then you want to come back, difficult to do that without losing all the edits you've done after. So a better way to do that is to use layer mask. Basically what a layer mask is, it's right up here in this little icon with this rectangle in the circle. Just click on that and it adds this layer mask to your layer. Right now it's white, and wherever it's white is visible. So right now, because that's white, you can see the whole layer, the whole blue layer. If you get the paintbrush and you paint with black, black's in your foreground color, you can get rid of some of that just like we did with the eraser tool, only you can see the layer there, it's still there. All you're doing is masking it out, putting a mask on it. I like to look at layer mask kind of like a curtain. You can look out the window and you can see the whole world out there, and if you put up a black curtain, then you can't see it anymore. You can move the curtain, or you could cut holes in the curtain and you can see what's in those holes, but where the black is you can't see. And that's the same way this works. Wherever the black is, you can't see that you can't see that part of the layer because it's covered up with a black curtain. White reveals and black conceals. That's the way a lot of people describe it. Or white is visible, black is invisible. So wherever the black covers, that part's invisible. Now there's a couple things you can do with these layer masks. You don't only need to use black and white, you can use gray. If we click on this and go over here to the color picker, these top three are called hue, saturation, and brightness. And if you just take this brightness and type in 50, now you have a 50% gray. If you click OK on that, now we can paint, and we're painting with gray, 50% gray. And you can see that we're seeing half of the blue and half of the red. And you can look at your mask. If you push down Option and click on the mask, you'll be able to see the mask itself. See how the area here is gray and the area here is black? Now you can paint right on the mask from here. Let's go back here. If you hit this little icon down here, you'll get the default white and black. And if you click on this little arrow, double arrow here, that switches them to black. And now we're going to be painting black. So you can paint right on the layer mask itself. And click Option or Alt and click on the mask, and you can see that this part is totally black on the mask. This part is 50% black. So you can see 50% of the blue on top of the red, making it purple. And this part is white, so you can see the whole blue area of the layer. So that's how layer masks work. If you want to turn off the mask, just push down Shift and click on the mask and see the red X that goes on there. That turns off the visibility of the mask. You can just toggle it on and off. We already did the Option Alt. That's why you can see the mask itself, and that can toggle on and off as you hold down the Option or the Alt. You can also hold down the Command or Control and click on the mask, and it'll give you a selection of the mask. You can see that this part's selected, which is the part that's solid black and the 50% black. That's our mask. Just hit Command or Control D to deselect that. Let's just get rid of that mask. To get rid of a mask, you can just select it and click on the trash can up here, and you'll get this warning right here. Do you want to apply the mask before removing? No, we don't want to apply the mask. What that will do is that will permanently delete those layers, and then there's no reason to use a layer mask. That's just the same as using the eraser tool. So no, we don't want to apply the mask. Just click delete. Okay, let's add another layer mask to this. Let's do something else. Let's use this gradient tool. Now with the gradient tool selected, we come down here and we'll make sure we have this gradient right here, foreground to background, which is black going to white. Click OK. Now if we drag over like that, you can see how it creates that gradient. Let's go do a little farther here. Let's go like that. Okay, now you can see where it's completely black up here is covering the whole blue layer, and as the gradation transfers from the black to white, you get these gray, and that's where you get this purple color in here. It's the gradation, and then where it's totally white, you can see the total blue. Now you can also do something else. You can put both these layers in a group, and now you can add a mask to the group, and you can paint on the group. So you can have multiple masks. This mask affects both layers because they're both in the same group. So you can have multiple masks on the layers. You can actually make a group with just one layer in it if you want multiple masks on one layer. So that's the basics of layer masks. Let's do something with the pictures. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. We're not going to save it. This is a picture of me several years ago. I was playing with my grandson, so I have a little monkey on my shoulder, and I got a weird cheesy smile on there. I'm going to delete the background out of this and put it on a different background. So what I'm going to do, what I can do is, you can see that this is a background layer, and I can't put a layer mask on a background layer. It has to be able to be transparent. So I need to just double click on that, and layer 0, that's fine. And now it's a regular layer. I can add a layer mask to it, and now I can use this brush with the foreground color black. Okay, now I can just start painting with black on my mask. Make sure my mask is selected, not the layer. There's the layer. If I start painting on the layer, it's just painting with my foreground color. If I select this mask, the foreground color automatically changes to the black and white. So now I can just paint. You can see that it just gets rid of that background. And if I go over, look at right there, I'm going over the shirt. Oh, went too far. Hit X, or hit that curved arrow right there. X is the keyboard shortcut to switch those background and foreground colors. And you can just paint it now with white and get it back in there. So you can just keep going back and forth between the white and the black to get your mask. Now there's an easier way to do this. I'm gonna just delete that mask. I'm just gonna delete it. Let's make a new mask. I'm gonna just make a selection. So I'm gonna come up here to the quick selection tool down here, and I'm just going to select me and the monkey. You just kind of drag this over. I have another tutorial on making selections, so I'm not going to go over that too much here. We'll just go over that a little bit. Now if you hold down the Alt or the Option, you can get rid of some areas, deselect some areas that are in there. And I'll do that right here. Okay, and I'll just keep working it a little bit. That needs to add. If you just drag over it, it adds. See the little plus sign in the cursor? That'll just add to it. And if you push down the Alt or the Option, you get the little minus sign, and that subtracts from your selection. And you can watch my video on my tutorial on selections. Let's deselect that there. Select this. I'm not going to go crazy on this. You can spend as much time as you want making this selection perfect. It's a little bit up there. Whoop, went too far. So we'll add to it. Alright, I'm just going to leave it at that. And a little bit on that ear. Okay, that's good enough, I think, for what we want to do here. All right, come down here and click Refine Edge. If you click on the Refine Edge, you get this Refine Edge dialog box that comes up. Now, if you click on this tool right here, this is the Refine Radius tool, and you can kind of go over your art, and it will help create that mask, especially in things like hair. And now that's screwed up that, because the background is too much the same color as the hair. Let's go around my hair a little bit. You can see there's something there on my shoulder, but that's not going to go completely away either. Let's go around my arm just a little bit. Okay, let's just... What happened to that monkey's thumb there, finger? Huh. Okay, that's good enough. We can fix it. When you get it about where you want it to be, make sure Decontaminate Colors is on. And the new layer with the layer mask is selected, and click OK. Okay, now there's our layer mask up there. It automatically made a new layer with our layer mask. Now you can adjust that layer mask the same way we did before. Get the brush tool over here, brush tool. Black is the foreground color. Let's make our brush just a little bit smaller. You can do that down here too on the size. And just paint with black. Black is gonna make this part invisible, so we're just gonna touch up that little spot right there, and we're going to change it to white because we want this to be visible. Little places where it kind of messed up on us. And just a couple of little quick fixes here. I'm gonna fix this a little bit too. Go with black. Now go with white. And there we go. Okay. Okay, now I need to bring in another picture. I have a picture over here. Go to my photo bin. I have a picture right here. I'm going to bring that in. I'm going to bring it below me. Go to the move tool. You can click it there, or you can just click V, which is this keyboard shortcut. Bring it down, do Command T. And I'm going to grab this corner up here and just drag it up so I can fill the frame there. Alright. Click the check mark to accept those edits. And there you go. There's a picture of me in front of the mountains with my monkey. Let's say I want to change the color of this shirt. I want to change the color of that shirt a little bit. So I'll come up here to the adjustment layers. And I'm going to click the hue saturation adjustment layer. And I'm going to change the hue to, this green color. Okay, now I've changed the shirt to the green color, but it's changed everything else too. So how are we going to fix that? We have a layer mask. Every adjustment layer comes with a mask already here, already built in. So if I want to copy this mask up there, you can hold down Option, click on the mask, and just drag it up to that layer. And it'll say replace the layer mask. Yes. And now I have the same layer mask on both layers. Now that got rid of the adjustment around the outside, but it's still showing on my face and on the monkey. I want to get rid of that. So what can I do with this mask? I can paint on it with black. Change that to black because black hides. Let's make my brush a little bigger, and I can paint on it. Now if I go over a little bit, oh, see, I went over a little bit. I can just change it to white and take it back. This is working the same way as the other mask did. White reveals, black conceals. I'm going to show you a better way to do this. Click on the layer down here. Click on the quick selection tool here, quick selection, and I'm going to just make a quick selection of the shirt. Very quickly go around all of that. Okay, now I'll hold down the Option or the Alt, get his tail unselected, and his arm unselected. His hand, this part of him unselected, the monkey. Okay, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. You can spend a lot of time, get your selection perfect the way that you want it. Let's just fix that a little bit right there. Okay. Now, go back up here to my mask. If I paint on that mask, because I've got my shirt selected, if I paint with black on that mask, it's going to paint my shirt because my shirt's the selection. So I need to Command Z or Control Z on that one. Go up to the mask. I need to invert that selection, and the way I can invert that selection is by pressing Shift, Command Control, and I. Shift, Command I for the Mac, Shift, Control I for the PC. And now you can see that I've got the marching ants around the outside, so everything's selected except my shirt. And now I can paint with black. Paintbrush, black, on the mask, paint, and the shirt is protected because it's outside of the selection. Let's make my brush a little bit bigger so it doesn't take all day. Okay, and now my shirt's protected, and outside of it I can just paint the black. You can look at the mask. Oh, you can see there's a couple little places there. Go ahead and paint those in black. Oh, look at his little arm there. Let's make this smaller and paint black in there. That's parts that I missed on the selection. Okay. Option or Alt click back on there and we're in good shape. You can see a little bit right there. Now here it goes. See, it's I'm trying to make it perfect. You can sit and take as long as you want to make this perfect. Just switching back from black and white over here to reveal or conceal on your mask. And there you go. That's the beauties of layer mask. And you know, as you can see, I haven't destroyed that first layer. Everything's still there. If I ever want to go back, I can go back 10 years from now and make a change to this layer mask and it'll work. Nothing's destructive. So that's the way you work with layer masks. It's an excellent way to make composites like this, or if you're doing your scrapbook pages, to combine different elements without destroying any of your art. So continue to play, continue to practice. It'll come to you. You learn. It'll become second nature. And have a lot of fun. And I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.